Welcome to Lead with Linnea, where we talk about real leadership for real people in the real world. I'm Linnea Rader, and I've spent 2 decades in public service leadership, from accounting to my current role as the Director of Finance and Human Resources. I've seen pretty much everything: the spectacular successes, the painful failures, and everything in between that makes leadership both challenging and incredibly rewarding. Here's the thing. Leadership is not reserved for people with fancy titles or corner offices. Every single one of us can be a leader in our personal and professional lives. Whether you're managing a team of 50 or just trying to figure out how to navigate office politics, whether you're a frontline worker or sitting around a boardroom table, leadership skills matter. My approach? I skip the fluff and get straight to what really works. You won't find theoretical frameworks or feel-good platitudes here. Instead, you'll get practical, tested strategies from someone who's been in the trenches, made the mistakes, and learned the hard lessons so that you don't have to. Through Lead with Linnea, I provide leadership development training and coaching because I'm passionate about helping people discover their authentic leadership potential. And honestly, some days you need to laugh to keep from crying, and some days you just need someone to tell you the truth about what leadership really looks like. So whether you're listening while you commute, taking a walk, or just need someone to remind you that you've got this, I'm here for you. So let's dive in and talk about what it really takes to lead with authenticity, impact, and maybe a little bit of sanity. Ready? Let's go. Cross-generational leadership. Managing boomers to Gen Z in one team. Let me tell you about some situations I've witnessed lately. A Gen Z attendee at a conference was commenting about boomer employees being too serious and not caring about anyone at work. Another attendee was commenting about the lack of work ethic of Gen Z coworkers. Same room, same conference, same topic being discussed, completely different perspectives. And both of them were wrong. Here's the thing. We've created this narrative about generational differences that's doing way more harm than good. We've bought into these sweeping generalizations. Boomers are rigid workaholics. Millennials are entitled. Gen Z can't focus. Gen X is... Well, wait, does anyone even talk about Gen X? The reality is so much more nuanced and honestly, so much more interesting. The stereotype trap. There are so many assumptions made about different generations and work ethics. And it's really unfortunate because when you actually stop listening to the noise and start listening to your people, you realize something very important. The differences aren't about generational character flaws. They're about different values, different focuses, and different goals that were shaped by wildly different experiences. Boomers grew up in an era where job security meant loyalty to a company for decades. Gen Z watched their parents get laid off despite that loyalty and learned to be self-reliant. Millennials entered the workforce during a recession and learned to hustle. Gen Z grew up watching everyone burn out and decided there had to be a better way. None of these perspectives are wrong. They're just different. And as a leader, your job isn't to judge which generation has it right. It's to help your team understand and value these differences. The work ethic myth. Let's bust this myth right away. Every generation has people who work hard and people who don't. Work ethic is not generational. What is different is how different generations define and demonstrate their commitment to work. You have employees who will work with their nose to the grindstone every hour of every day. They show up early, stay late, and measure their worth by their output. Many of these folks learned that's how you prove yourself, how you earn respect, how you succeed. Then you have others that value the relationships between coworkers. They take time to check in with their teammates. They prioritize collaboration and connection. They believe that strong relationships make better work possible. Here's when it gets messy. The grindstone employees may feel the others are wasting time chit-chatting when they should be working, not taking things seriously enough. Meanwhile, the relationship-focused employees think the grindstone workers don't care about them. They're cold, unapproachable, or stuck in outdated mindset about what productivity looks like. Neither value is bad. Listen to that again. Neither value is bad. But the disregard of each other's values, that's the problem. The respect divide. Here's something I've noticed that nobody really talks about. Different generations have fundamentally different ideas about what deserves respect. Boomers tend to respect positions. If you're the supervisor, the manager, the director, you've earned that title and the respect that comes with it. Even if they don't personally like you or agree with your decisions, they'll respect the position you hold. That's how they were raised. That's what they learned. Gen Z respects people, not titles. If someone acts in a way that Gen Z doesn't respect, it's gone. The title doesn't matter. The position doesn't matter. If you're not demonstrating the values they respect, authenticity, fairness, genuine care for people, then you haven't earned their respect, regardless of what your business card says. Neither approach is wrong, but they can create real friction if you don't understand what's happening. The boomer employee sees their Gen Z coworker questioning the supervisor's decision and thinks, that's disrespectful. That's not how you treat someone in authority. The Gen Z employee is thinking, I'm just asking questions. If they can't explain their reasoning, maybe it's not a good decision. As a leader, you need to bridge this gap. You need to help your team understand that respect can look different and still be genuine. Creating understanding, not uniformity. Your job isn't to make everyone think the same way. Thank goodness, because that would be boring and unproductive. Your job is to create an environment where different approaches are understood and valued. This starts with calling out the assumptions and generalizations when you hear them. When someone says, younger employees just don't want to work, push back. What I'm actually seeing is that they want to work smart, just not work long. They're asking good questions about efficiency and purpose. That's valuable. When someone complains that older employees don't get it, challenge that too. What I'm seeing is deep experience and institutional knowledge that we'd be foolish to dismiss. They've seen what happens when we rush into changes without thinking them through. Help your team see that what looks like a generational conflict is often just different communication styles, different priorities, or different ways of demonstrating the same commitment to good work. The translation work. Part of your role as a leader, managing multiple generations, is being a translator. Not in a condescending way, but in a way that helps people understand each other. When your relationship-focused employee spends 15 minutes catching up with a coworker, help your task-focused employees understand that those connections often lead to better collaboration and faster problem-solving later. It's not wasted time. It's investment in team effectiveness. When your grindstone employee stays late to finish something, help your work-life balance advocates understand that for some people, completing tasks and going above and beyond is how they find satisfaction. It's not about making everyone else look bad. It's about their personal sense of accomplishment. When your Gen Z team member questions why something is done a certain way, help your more traditional employees see that it's curiosity and desire for understanding, not disrespect or laziness. When your boomer employee insists on following established processes, help younger team members appreciate that sometimes these processes exist because we've learned the hard way what happens when we skip steps. Finding common ground. Here's what I've learned. Despite all the generational differences, everyone wants basically the same things from work. They want to feel valued. They want their contributions to matter. They want to be treated with respect. They want to work with people they trust. They want to feel like their time is being used well. The path to these goals might look different across generations, but the destination is the same. Your job is to help your team see that common ground, to build bridges instead of letting generational divides create silos, to create space for different working styles while maintaining standards and accountability. The real generational leadership challenge. Managing a cross-generational team isn't about picking sides or deciding which generation has the right approach. It's about recognizing that diversity of perspective, including generational diversity, makes your team stronger. The boomer employee's experience and institutional knowledge, combined with the Gen Z's fresh perspective and technological fluency, that's powerful. Gen X's independence and resourcefulness mixed with Millennials' collaborative spirit, that's a winning combination. But only if you as a leader create an environment where these differences are valued rather than judged, where people feel safe being themselves rather than conforming to some imaginary ideal of the perfect employee. Moving forward, stop listening to the generational generalizations and negativity. Start listening to your actual people. Ask them what they value. Help them understand each other. Create space for different approaches to coexist. Your team isn't going to look uniform, and that's okay. Actually, it's better than okay. That's exactly what you want. Diverse perspectives, different strengths, varied approaches, all working towards the same goals. The important part of generational leadership isn't managing the differences. It's leveraging them. Because when you do this right, when you help your team see each other clearly and value what each person brings, you don't just survive the generational mix, you thrive because of it. How do you navigate generational differences on your team? What's worked? What's been challenging? Share those experiences in the comments. Thank you for joining me today on Lead with Linnea. I hope something we talked about resonates with you and gives you a tool you can actually use in your leadership journey. Remember, leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional, authentic, and willing to keep learning and growing. You're going to face situations you never saw coming, make decisions that feel impossible, and sometimes wonder if you're cut out for this whole leadership thing. It's normal, it's human, and that's exactly why we need leaders like you who are willing to do the hard work. If today's episode sparked some ideas about training or coaching for you or your team, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at leadwithlinnea@leadwithlinnea.com or give me a call at 269-621-5282. Whether you're looking for one-on-one coaching, team training, or need someone to speak at your next event, let's talk about how we can help you and your people become the leaders your organization needs. You can find more resources, read my blog post, and learn more all about my services at leadwithlinnea.com. As always, carry social kindness with you everywhere you go. This world needs you and your positive mindset. Until next time, keep leading and keep growing.